Hi everybody. I am going to post an audio file here from the 1977 album Elvis in Concert. Now, this may seem a little strange, but I heard of a rumor back in about 1987 or so that if you played a certain portion of Vernon's message on Elvis in Concert backwards, you'd hear something else. Now, before everybody starts rolling their eyes, I'm not an Elvis conspiracy theorist. I don't think Elvis is alive or anything like that. Nor am I a person who plays records backwards and hears things. But I heard this, and I don't remember where exactly I heard it from, but I had heard it in the context of that someone had heard a DJ on the radio talking about this or something like that. But what I found interesting is that that was 1987. It's 25 years later, and I haven't heard a thing about it since, which is very interesting. So, nevertheless, back then, I didn't have an original 1977 release of Elvis in Concert, but I did get one years later. I had a reissue of the album, and when I played Vernon's message backwards on the reissue, I didn't hear anything. However, I did get a 1977 issue of Elvis in Concert, and I did play Vernon's message backwards. And again, I know it sounds crazy, but there is a section in Vernon's message where he says, "The flowers you sent to me and the family." Now, if you play that section backwards, you will clearly hear someone, a voice, saying, "And he misses you often." Now, I know, I'm sure you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, okay, yeah, you can hear anything when you play a record backwards. That's true. But if you listen to Vernon's whole message backwards, it's all incomprehensible. It's all your typical yep, 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 just like a record played backwards sounds, except for that one section. And that's the section I'm going to play you here. I'm going to play some bits before and some bits after. I'll play the whole section forward, and then I'll play that section backwards so you can hear it and you can tell where it's coming from. So, again, it's nothing weird or strange or anything like that. I'm not saying you should read any into it. It could just be an audio problem that they had on the recording. What is strange is it's only that one little section, and it does not show up on any reissues of Elvis in Concert, only on the original 1977 issue. So if it's an audio glitch, that's an interesting thing that it would not appear on later reissues of this particular album. So I'm going to go ahead and play it forwards for you and then backwards. And here's the forward part.
For your many cards and letters, the flowers you sent to me and the family during our time of grief from the loss of my son Elvis.
Okay, so that was the forward version of Vernon's message. Now I'm going to play a little bit, that section plus a little bit more backwards for you. And when you're listening to it, you can tell very clearly that most of it doesn't make any sense at all. It just sounds like yep, 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 just like your typical backwards sounding thing. But there is one section that clearly sounds like a message. So take a listen. So now, that section there was the entire section of Vernon's message, the same one as the forward version, except entirely backwards. And as you could tell, most of it was gibberish, but there was one section where it says, "And he misses you often." It's very clear. Everything before it and after it is nothing but gibberish. And I'm going to play just that section for you here so you can hear it clearly. "And he misses you often." It's Vernon, and it comes right at the point where he says, "I want to thank you all for your cards and letters that you sent to the family." It's right in that section. If you play that section backwards, that's what you hear.
He misses you often. He misses you often.
So there you have it. He misses you often. Does it mean anything? Who knows? That's it's not a conspiracy. I don't believe Elvis is alive and this was some sort of secret message or anything. It's just interesting. The fact is, that's the only section of the album that sounds like a human voice. It's clearly not those syllables being said backwards. What Vernon is saying forwards, just in reverse, because none of it makes any sense except for that one little section. So it's kind of interesting, the fact that you could find that backwards, and you can only find it on the original 1977 issues of Elvis in Concert. So if you have an album of Elvis in Concert from '77, the original issue, check it out for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. I just used computer software to reverse it so that I didn't have the variable sound of the turntable spinning. Basically, it was a lot easier to just do it with software, but you could do it yourself and check some later reissues and see what you find. It's just a curiosity. So enjoy.